You would think the drama ended.
It's a good bounce back win for us today. I thought we started the game with the right tone on the defensive end, and so that was a
more chaotic summer for Team
USA.
That was.
Coach Cheryl Reeve has reportedly come face-to-face with the nightmare that everyone from TV executives to sneaker sponsors had been quietly dreading. Caitlin Clark isn't just sitting out, she's outright refusing to play on their terms. While the media debated skill, experience, and paying dues, a far more urgent story was allegedly unfolding behind the scenes. Reports suggest that Team USA leadership, desperate to control a spiraling PR disaster, made a last-ditch effort to get Caitlin involved, and they dangled an offer nobody expected, a gesture they assumed she couldn't refuse. They offered her the number 12 jersey. For casual fans, it's just a number on a mesh shirt, but in women's basketball, the 12 carries weight beyond any ordinary digit. It belongs to Diana Taurasi, a symbol of the old guard, a mark of veteran dominance that has defined the sport for decades. Handing it to a rookie is like offering the crown while the queen still sits on her throne. Yet, instead of accepting this historic yet loaded honor, Caitlin allegedly saw through the proper disdain gesture. She recognized it as what it truly was, a poisoned chalice, and she walked away. That single act has already shifted the balance of power in the sport. The rookie they tried to haze? She's now the one holding all the leverage. To understand just how shocking this is, consider the desperation behind the offer. According to insiders, NBC and USA Basketball scrambled after a wave of backlash, angry fan tweets, plummeting Olympic hype, and the sense that without Caitlin, the gold medal narrative would feel hollow to the public. They needed a solution, and fast. Their plan was audacious: hand her the most legendary number in the program's history as a gesture of respect. They assumed it would erase the narrative of the snub, make her grateful, and position her as the next in line while honoring the legend she'd follow. But they miscalculated. Caitlin didn't hesitate, she immediately rejected it. And her refusal wasn't just about a number. It was a bold declaration of autonomy. Why accept a jersey that implicitly sets her against the jersey veterans she's worked to respect? Why wear the number of someone who publicly questioned her readiness for the league? By saying no to the 12 and the implied roster privilege that came with it, Caitlin sent a crystal clear message. She's not a marketing tool, not a prop to boost ticket sales, and certainly not a rookie bowing down to the system. What they intended as a golden gift was, in her eyes, an insult wrapped in prestige. And there's a darker layer here, one that insiders and analysts keep emphasizing. The number 12 was more than an honor, it was a trap. Think about the psychology of a professional locker room built on hierarchy, tenure, and earned respect. Accepting that jersey could have put her directly into a web of expectation, politics, and legacy, a system she wasn't willing to let define her. Caitlin Clark's refusal? It wasn't defiance for the sake of it. It was strategy, independence, and a statement that she plays on her terms. If Caitlin had shown up to that Olympic training camp wearing Diana Taurasi's legendary number, while Taurasi still commanded the locker room as the team's emotional anchor, the atmosphere would have been explosive. Veterans, already frustrated by the non-stop media frenzy around Caitlin, would have seen it as the ultimate act of audacity, a rookie trying to overshadow a living legend before her time. But Caitlin's intelligence on and off the court is unmatched. She saw the setup immediately. Accepting the jersey would have painted a giant target on her back, isolating her from teammates before she even took her first shot. Instead, she stayed in Indiana, rested her body, and focused on shattering WNBA records rather than walking into a locker room rigged to fail her. And this wasn't the only time she drew a line. The story gets even more revealing. While the number 12 drama-dominated headlines, the facts that support her decisions are already Caitlin reportedly declined an invitation to the 3-on-3 Olympic team. This wasn't a minor snub, it was a clear statement. Insiders say the committee tried to pull her into Paris through the back door, assuming she would accept any scraps just to earn the title of Olympian. But the 3-on-3 setup, while intense and fast-paced, isn't the main stage. Her rejection was the first domino to fall, proving she knows her worth. She won't settle for a secondary role or a symbolic jersey just to boost TV ratings. Caitlyn is a main event player, and if the main event doesn't want her, she's perfectly stocked, capable of creating her own spotlight elsewhere. This puts Coach Cheryl Reeve in an almost impossible spot. Reeve has publicly taken the heat for the selection committee, trying to shield the program from endless scrutiny. For weeks, the official story was that roster decisions came down to defense, experience, and team chemistry. But with these new revelations of rejected jerseys and failed negotiations, that narrative is collapsing. It's now clear the leadership underestimated the Caitlyn effect. They assumed they held all the flame cards, believing the Olympic dream was irresistible to any player. But when the coach indirectly confirms they couldn't secure the sport's biggest star because she refused to play their political games, it exposes a leadership failure on a massive scale. The old guard thought they were disciplining a rookie. Instead, they alienated the future of women's basketball. And the fallout? It's already hitting the one place that matters most, the wallet. NBC and Olympic sponsors had counted on a Caitlyn Clark viewership surge. After her record-breaking NCAA performances and her impact on the WNBA draft, they expected audiences to follow her to Paris. Without her, and with controversy swirling over her rejection of Taurasi's 12, excitement for the team has cratered. A single player now wields more leverage than the entire national program. They tried to buy her back with a number, a piece of fabric meant to symbolize respect. But Caitlyn proved that respect can't be negotiated, and influence can't be handed over with a jersey. And that brings us back to the significance of number 12. In sports, numbers are identities. Jordan is 23, Gretzky is 99. In Team USA women's basketball, Taurasi is 12. Offering that jersey to Caitlyn wasn't a casual gesture, it signaled a level of panic inside the program bordering on hysteria. They tried to orchestrate a passing of the torch moment that neither player had asked for, forcing symbolism instead of letting it evolve naturally. Imagine the tension in that locker room if she had taken it. Picture the scene, cameras flashing, media everywhere, as Caitlyn Clark holds up a jersey that everyone knows belongs to the legend standing beside her. It wouldn't have been a celebration of basketball, it would have been a spectacle, a media stunt. By refusing it, Caitlyn arguably showed more respect for Diana Taurasi than the committee ever did. She refused to participate in a setup designed to diminish the veteran's legacy while simultaneously putting herself in an impossible position. It was a move of maturity, a veteran-level decision made by a 22-year-old who reads the board better than the executives running the league. There's also a very practical side to this. Caitlyn has been grinding non-stop basketball for over a year through the brutal NCAA tournament, the national championship, the WNBA draft, and into a professional season where she's blitzed and targeted night after night. She's exhausted. Saying no isn't just political, it's survival. Why fly to Paris to sit on the bench, or worse, play in a hostile environment when she can finally rest and recover? The number 12 jersey likely became the final confirmation that the committee cared more about eyeballs than her well-being, and her silence speaks volumes. Normally, when rumors like this surface, agents rush to deny them, issuing polite statements thanking the committee. But here, nothing. That quiet alone tells the story. Real tension, real frustration, and bridges not just burned, they're detonated. It mirrors everything we've seen all season. The hard fouls, the missed calls, the frosty handshakes. The Olympic snub isn't an isolated incident, it's the climax of a season-long clash between the new era and the old guard. The jersey offer was an attempt to patch over cracks that are now wide chasms. Consider the 3-on-3 Olympic team angle. It's a different style, a gritty, fast-paced format. Offering her that role was essentially a demotion, a headline singer told to perform in the lobby instead of the main stage. Her refusal should have been a warning signal. Caitlyn Clark is not desperate. She's already a global star. Nike, Gatorade, Wilson. She doesn't need the Olympics to validate her stardom. The 2024 Olympic program, however, needed her to validate theirs, and they failed. Meanwhile, the women who did make the team, Aja Wilson, Breanna Stewart, champions in to their own right, are now overshadowed. They're fielding questions about a player who isn't even there. Caitlyn's absence looms larger than anyone on the roster. Every empty seat, every dip in ratings will be pinned on the snub. The number 12 offer? It was likely a preemptive attempt at optics. Look, she's wearing the veteran's number. We're all united. But by refusing, Caitlyn stripped away the pretense. She forced the world to see the team exactly as it is. A group of incredible athletes who missed the chance to capitalize on the biggest marketing moment in their sport's history. The implications stretch far beyond 2024. In 2028, when the Olympics are in Los Angeles and Caitlyn is in her prime, will she even want to play for a program that treated her this way? By rejecting the iconic 12 jersey, she's already set a precedent. Talent controls the narrative, not the committee. If Team USA wants her in LA, they'll need more than a recycled jersey. They'll need an apology and a system that truly values her. Coach Cheryl Reeves' claims about taking the bullets now read differently. It's less about noble sacrifice and more a quiet admission. They underestimated the future, and Caitlin Clark isn't waiting for permission to define it. She knew exactly what offering that jersey meant. It was a desperate Hail Mary. If Caitlin accepted, chaos would erupt. If she refused, embarrassment was inevitable. Once the committee left her off the initial roster, there was no winning move. Their frantic scramble afterward only made them look disorganized, exposed, panicked like executives staring at Wasso spreadsheets, realizing they had blown a $100 million opportunity. And the fans? They're the ones who buy the jerseys, who tune in. Online sentiment is overwhelmingly on Caitlyn's side. Her refusal isn't seen as arrogance, it's self-respect. It's a young woman standing up to a corporate machine that tried to use her. The number 12 saga has turned into a modern folktale, the individual defying the institution. Every new report about her declining an invite strengthens her fan base. They grow more protective, more loyal, more anti-establishment. Team USA didn't just lose a player, they unintentionally created a rival. And this isn't merely about a jersey, it's about the soul of women's basketball globally, about the power dynamics in the WNBA. For decades, the system demanded rookies pay their dues, a hazing hierarchy designed by veterans to assert control. Caitlin Clark represents something completely new, an economic force that transcends tradition. When Team USA offered her the number 12 jersey, they were trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, forcing her into an old system. By saying no, she, as a 17, shattered that mold. She demonstrated that when you are single-handedly raising the league's profile and even the salary cap, your presence alone rewrites the rules. Insiders speculate that the call to offer the jersey didn't even originate with the coaches. It came from marketing executives watching pre-order sales flatline. Imagine that meeting, purists arguing that the team is fine without her, while the business side insists the team is irrelevant without her. The compromise offer the number 12 satisfies no one. Veterans are insulted because their legacy is being pawned off. Caitlyn is insulted because they assume she could be bought. Then there's the Nike factor. Nike sponsors Team USA and just signed Caitlyn to a massive $28 million signature shoe deal. Picture the tension at HQ. On one hand, they want Team USA to win gold. On the other, they want their new superstar to dominate the global spotlight. Yet even her sponsors couldn't sway her. Caitlyn's refusal proves an autonomy rarely seen in a rookie. Usually, if a shoe company says jump, the athlete asks, "How high?" Caitlyn said, "I'm not jumping. I'm taking a break." This puts Coach Cheryl Reeve under a microscope. Fans are combing her old tweets, past interviews, looking for evidence of bias. The number 12 fiasco adds fuel to the fire because it looks like a cover-up. If the committee truly believed in leaving her off the roster, why circle back? With the jersey, why even offer it at all? It implies doubt, hesitation, regret, and in elite sports, showing doubt is like bleeding in shark-infested waters. The media, fans, and critics are now circling, waiting for an explanation that she can't fully give. Timing makes it worse. All of this unfolded while Caitlyn was facing the most relentless physical defense in WNBA history, constantly full-court pressed, targeted every night. Yet she still refused to be manipulated, proving that her value and her agency cannot be bought, coerced, or diminished.